Yeah, I don't like to like plan out what I'm gonna really say. I just want to get good at like I'm already pretty decent just because of who I am, not liking to waste time or talk about things that are unnecessarily or go on rants because I don't like.
Yeah,
I really just strongly dislike when other people do that, so I don't like to do that. Like when I speak,
yeah,
I like it to be very valuable, everything I say, and not be just talking to make myself feel good. So I feel
mhm,
I'll probably, obviously, I feel uncomfortable to some degree recording myself, but I think I'll get better and just making valuable content that's relative to like each video is just all relative and connects and
yeah,
makes sense and is helpful.
yeah. So do you like to record by yourself? Like you'd rather not have anybody there?
Um, it's probably I was thinking about that when I was recording that sometimes I feel like it might be nice to have another person ask questions or
Okay.
keep the focus.
Yeah, kind of like an interview. Are you done with the video?
Yeah, I just did it real quick and then taking shadow on a walk. I feel
I'm just
like,
doing a
but
I'm just doing a side plank right now, so I'm not like what?
okay. I was gonna say I feel like um kind of a part of this that this is like a big component I think to what I was missing whenever I've tried to do things before is just
Hmm.
trying too much. That makes sense. Like I feel like with this type of stuff, a big part of what I've learned of because I've done like man, like I said, skateboarding videos when I was younger. Like I was doing Facebook ads like right when Facebook was like first started, kind of like when it was at its prime, like 2015, 2016. I used to get like hundreds of thousands of views, but the thing is it's like I didn't know enough. I was really young and didn't know. Like I should have stayed in it what I was doing, but obviously, you got to learn and grow as a person, which I wasn't really
Yeah.
I wasn't really interested in that like as much as I was about
Hmm.
financial gain. So it's good that it didn't all work out the way it could have, I guess, or the way I desired it cuz it could have been pretty bad. It still was pretty bad because I still got a ton of money at a young age by running a drug empire. It's like
Yeah.
just that story alone, talking about that, understanding that is like a movie. Like that's literally I think they've actually made movies about it, but that was the lifestyle I lived in at a young
Yeah.
age. And, I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, I think it's very valuable what I've learned through failure time and time again. And one of the things that I've learned that's very important to understand if you're trying to grow something, especially if you want to grow something that's like hyper successful and does really well financially and then like isn't bad. Because that's the key component, like to do something authentically good. Because people, especially myself, anyways, I can't say people, but I do know I was very, like, a lot of people were very similar as me. They just didn't have like the dedication to doing whatever it takes, no matter if it's good or bad. Like, and I say
Huh.
dedication isn't always meaning like it's a good thing, but like what I was doing when I was growing up was like, I started out with kind of like a good intention, right? I wanted to do something that was beneficial to some degree that made all I really cared about at the core was making a bunch of money. But what I was learning through Think and Grow Rich and different books I was reading, um, How to Win Friends and Influence People, is you have to provide a service to somebody that
Yeah.
that helps them in order to receive, you know, financial benefit. And I didn't really understand that. Like, well, I
Yeah.
guess it's not that I didn't necessarily understand it, it's that I didn't really care about
Huh.
at that time just because of my own family life and different problems that I had. Plus, just being young too, you don't see the value of doing good for others in a cosmic sense.
Yeah.
You're just like, whatever, I'm young and who really cares? Because I don't really. I was very nihilistic in a sense where I didn't really I don't know if I just didn't see it or if I just didn't care or if it's a mix of both. I didn't have enough experience to see what bad things can do to you and to those around you on an intimate level. I just kind of saw it at a surface level per se, but
Hmm.
or maybe heard the effects from other people of what it does. But at any rate,
Yeah. Not really seeing it for yourself.
yeah. At any rate, um, yeah, I had a deep desire to be something that that people could see as something, whether that be good or bad. I didn't care at the time. Um,
Yeah.
and that ultimately, like my lack of impatience to allow something good to unfold, because something good to that scale takes a lot of effort under a lot of
Hmm.
time. And when I say
Yeah.
effort, it's a certain aspect of effort because
Hmm.
what I wanted to kind of get into with this is like a certain aspect of effort is what I kind of originally stimulated this idea of like right now, I wake up, go to the gym, do my prayers, blah blah blah. Just made a video. But like in that video, I'm not trying so hard to be perfect or to express a perfect idea that's gonna blah 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 blow up and all that stuff. Like I know over the course of time, if I try just enough and keep trying just enough to the point where I'm not stressing myself out, but I am pushing myself a little bit. It's kind of the same thing in the gym. Like, you're not stressing yourself out. You're just
Hmm.
pushing yourself just enough. And maybe sometimes you can push yourself a little harder and and stress
Yeah.
yourself out a little bit more and then get a good quality result. But then the next day you kind of tone it back down because it's all about keeping the your composure and keeping a level of confidence that you're going to be successful. You already are successful because
Hmm.
it's like a lot of it's psychology where it's like and it and it can't be a false psychology. It has to be a truth, which the truth is if you know this knowledge and you accept it in your heart and your mind and your soul, you have
Yeah.
already succeeded. Like
Yeah.
that knowledge and that understanding and that state of being is already a state of success.
Hmm.
Meaning like if you just know each day your purpose is to push yourself just a little bit, not enough, but like enough to for it to be difficult, but not too much to the point where you're stressed out. And sometimes that's
Hmm.
difficult because if you really, 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 really want something, you can stress
Hmm.
yourself out by not
Yeah.
having it. But if you accept that that is actually going to have you not have it more,
Yeah.
then you'll understand that your deep desire to have something is actually keeping you from it. Then you'll
Hmm.
realize that that deep desire to have something isn't even the deep desire to have something. It's coming from somewhere else. Either you're running from pain or you're not looking at things with the proper perspective. So when I say that the proper perspective is already success, that's the truth. Because
Hmm.
when you've already accepted that you've succeeded, because you're not stressing yourself out too much, you're going to get there. It's just a matter of when. You've already won.
Yeah.
And everyone's situation's different. Everyone's starting point's different. Like if you got a family life, you're living at home and it's really stressing you out, like you got to get out of it. You
Hmm.
because you if you can't have peace and like I said, this mindset and this perspective because of the ones you're surrounded by, whether that be family, parents,
Hmm.
relatives, siblings, that's not aligned with what truth is. Like you can't be stressed out to that level, having your
Yeah.
perspective constantly put down and shattered and condescended and annihilated.
Hmm.
Like you got to figure out a way to move on and get out of the situation so you can have the success mindset. And
Yeah.
success mindset is, like I said, not a state of being. I mean, it's a state of being, not a
Hmm.
not a not a state of life.
Hmm.
Like you don't need millions of
No.
dollars to have be successful, like to have a successful like.
Mm.
like state of being.
Mm.
That state of being like just naturally attracts the rest. But that might not be
Mm.
finances for some people. That just might be like a family or a successful business, but not too successful. Like there's a sweet spot for everybody. And it really comes
Yeah.
from like authentically like understanding yourself and looking at yourself and just being okay with where you're at and then having a vision of where you want to go and just
Mm.
walking a little bit each day towards that and accepting that like not having it in this moment is okay because you already have what you need to get there, which is that state of being.
Mm.
But it's taken me a really long time to understand that. That's a level of confidence that you have, not just, but in a higher power in a sense. And just
Mm.
that's the way that whoever, whatever created this experience, this universe, this life, it's just the way it was made. That's the secret. That's the answer right there. They call it the law of attraction. They call it whatever, but they don't really give you the key to understand
Mm.
how to harness it. They just give you just enough to be kind of confused, like
Mm.
off track. Like I think, well, I don't think, I know without a doubt from my own experience, like I've already won the game. I just have to go through the
Mm.
motions the rest of my life, if that makes sense.
Mm. Mhm.
But it doesn't mean I can't fall and fail and lose the game. I mean, life gets tough sometimes. So it's like, you
Yeah.
know, you gotta have trust in those times, which was only built. Well, I mean, like I've said before, with the Stoicism, like sharpen your swords in times of peace, so it's ready in times of war. Maybe there isn't hard times that come to certain people, but I'd rather not take that chance by not having a sharp sword. So right now,
Right.
life's not too bad, life's not too difficult. If it isn't,
Yeah.
if it is, well then figure out how to get to a time of peace. Then when you're in that time of
Yeah.
peace, sharpen your sword so it's ready for the next battle.
Yeah.
You know, and
Well,
all this connects to basically an ideology, a way of life that unlocks yourself, what your own desires are, and then
mm.
how to achieve them, which is universal. It's not opinion, it's not maybe, like this is like a law, like just as gravity is a law.
Mm.
You jump out the window, you're gonna fall and hit the ground. Like if you accept this state of being in this state of life, you're going to move towards whatever it is that you have in your heart and your mind, as long as you have
Mm.
something in your heart and your mind. And I would
Yeah.
say that to add to that, if you don't care about how you achieve that thing, then probably likely the way that you're going to achieve it is not going to be the best
Mm.
way, unless your habits of who you are as a person is already pretty good and virtuous, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because you kind of move towards automatically who you already are.
Yeah.
So that might mean you have to rebuild some habits if you want to authentically move towards something that's, well, good
Mm.
without.
Mm.
I mean, that's what I guess I'm speaking from experience on that one because I really didn't grow up with the best habits and virtues. Like I had an understanding of that I should to some degree, but I didn't have them built. So I feel for the
Mm.
past, I don't even know, like almost 10 years of my life, a little less, maybe 8 years, I've been actively
Yeah.
building habits and virtues that are the foundation
Mm.
now of me moving towards, oh, there's
Yeah.
dogs barking obnoxiously. Can you hear them? Oh, my headphones
Uh,
actually block them out pretty good, but they won't stop.
well, no, I don't hear any
Very
dogs.
annoying. Well, feel free to put your input in.
Well, it's just like, of course, as you're saying all this, I'm kind of thinking about, well, just taking it in, and I appreciate how I can't not appreciate the way that you kind of experience. life and all the little like these like just it started from doing the Facebook ad and you're kind of thinking about
Well, it's just funny that I find
you're doing a
myself in
lot
a
of
similar position now,
self-reflection.
10 years later,
Hmm. Yeah,
trying to figure out how to do Facebook ads for the business.
I see. Yes.
But since the last time I did it, it's like I've had to really change a lot of myself in order to have what I wanted then in the best way
Hmm.
and not in some loser, say loser, but just some maleful way.
Yeah, there's I think for me like my I think for me like it's just and not just but like success would be to have and I definitely would be to have like I think naturally I desire to be, you know, to be um, healthy and then and taking care of the people that I care about. But I don't want to like I don't want to live off of that. I want to have my own. Like I don't want to like just focus on the people. I really want to focus on myself. And I'm not sure fully what that entails, but I'm definitely inspired through like by continuing to eat healthy and exercise. Um, and then do the Jordan Peterson Academy at some point.
I mean, desire isn't something that just um, zeal or desire isn't something that just everyone just has. It's something like that has to be fostered and like cared for and developed. But that
Yeah.
like desire, zeal, like that's the core driving like I don't know, entity thing
Yeah.
to like achieving anything.
To achieving.
And
Yeah.
like yeah, I mean having a desire to do good things is really just like the core, but that's not like how do you care about something you don't care about? Well, you have to develop a care. It's like tending to a fire. Like how do you have a fire when you don't have a fire? It's like, well, you gotta
Hmm.
chop wood. You gotta get the fire started, which is the hardest part of getting a fire started. Like having a fire, like the hardest part of having a fire is getting it started.
Hmm.
You gotta blow on it. You gotta put the right stuff in the right way in order to get the flame lit.
Hmm.
But once it's started, it's easier to keep it going, but it still takes work.
Yeah.
But the desire is like a flame. You can't really do anything without a flame. You gotta develop it. I feel to some degree you haven't really had any desires or like reflected on desire. Like you said that, your desire was to kind of serve your mom and family, but that's kind of misplaced because eventually that has to stop. And I don't,
Yeah. And it did.
yeah,
I mean, like, it,
there has to, but, and I don't even feel like that's like the way that you've described it doesn't even seem like there was that much like depth to it, like a real roaring flame. It just kind of seems like it was something
hmm.
you were doing because that's all you knew,
Hmm.
not because there was like a deep inward reflection and a desire to do that.
Hmm.
So I think
Yeah.
myself, what I've been encouraging with you and what I have heard through speaking with
Hmm.
you and understanding is that I'm encouraging you to look inward and stir up and create a desire, a deep desire. Only, I mean, really, you can't be around me and not have a deep desire because I have a deep desire. It just won't work. Like I won't want you around if you don't have a deep desire to do and to live and exert because it's just I don't know. It's just kind of how I've built myself into being. So it's hard to for me to be around people that don't have that.
Hmm. Well, it's I mean, it's not even anything. I mean, it's something that I like when I see and watch you, like, I mean, like, I don't want to just be
Observer.
not that I don't. Right. Like there's like I'm not here just to observe. I'm here to participate, you know? And not
Because it is
in
enjoyable to
your
watch somebody do what they do and build something tremendous from the ground up. Like
yeah,
it's like satisfying.
yeah,
I mean, that's why people scroll on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, whatever else, because they can see people do things that are great
for
that
sure.
they don't have to do themselves. They can just be an observer.
Well, and I wonder if my role is not to be an observer, but to do it with you, and to like support you as you're doing it, and
Yeah,
then to do
the
my
only way
own.
you can really do that though is by having a deep desire to do
Yeah,
something good
yeah.
on your
Oh yeah,
own,
for
away
sure.
from me. Like without
Yeah,
me or with me, it doesn't really matter. You're gonna have to do that thing regardless.
yeah. It has to be like that, because or else I can't bring my own.
Well, if you provide no value,
Exactly.
not
Yeah.
true. I think that's what people have been trying to tell me and tell you is like Will
Mm.
specifically is like away apart from me, who are you? I think that's a good question to ask yourself, but not necessarily like apart from me, but just like how can you stir up your desire? How can you build your fire? Because then when
Yeah.
two fires come together, it's just an unstoppable force. Now imagine three or four or five or six or seven or 12. You can start a whole revolutionary movement that radically changes the
Mm.
world.
Yeah, it's really like um a challenge to kind of go beyond of what you know.
I don't know what you specifically mean. That's kind of a vague statement.
Just go beyond of what you're
Yeah, I'm on the
used to.
phone. Yeah, sorry. Go keep going.
Just go beyond of like the things that you are used to and the things that you've been told. Because I do think that there's a sense that I'm like there are things that I can do, but I don't know what those are yet.
I, why?
Because I don't like I have a desire to like well, I have a desire to take care of the family, but I know that I
Okay, well,
know that
how can you
there's
do that right now?
by taking care of like myself in a way, and then taking care
Yeah,
of
how do you do that?
working out,
Okay, sure, but there has to be a goal to
eating,
say working out. Where do you want to be? Why would you work out?
mm, so that I can
There has to be intention behind what you do.
yeah,
I mean, do you want to get rid of your belly fat? Do you want to make your arms bigger? Do you want to make your face look better? Do you want to have a bigger butt? Do you want like bigger legs? Like there has to be intention behind what you're doing. I just am naming certain things that are like common with women. So it's
no, for me,
like there has to
yeah,
be some level of that of focus while you're doing it. Or else if you're just working out to just be healthy, that's the core of it, obviously, is to be healthy, but there has to also be, like, attributes, like, things that are, like, milestones that you reach or you're just not gonna keep going consistently. You have to
hmm,
have a reason to show up consistently and do certain things while you're there. in order to obtain a goal, or else there's just wandering. You're just wandering,
Yeah. Yeah, true.
but it can't stress you out. You can't be like, like people, a lot of gurus say you gotta be like hyper fixated and you gotta obsess over this thing. It's like, I don't agree with that. I think that leads you away from your created purpose.
Hmm.
I think that's a way of like avoiding things that you're supposed to be facing. But that's a topic for
Hmm.
another conversation. I want to go back to what you were saying. Like, okay, you want to, how can you help your family? Okay, you can get healthier. Okay, but like, what else? Because that doesn't take a whole lot of your attention.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not just like being
I could give you
healthier.
the answers, but like without you forming them yourself, then it's not gonna stick.
Yeah.
You need it to stick. So
Well,
what
I'd like,
else?
yeah, I'd like to be my own, not be my own. I'd like to be a person, who is like who prays on her, gets her own time to pray, who does get up and work and exercise just because it is like it's important for me to like I did this when I was living with my family, but I did get up and I exercised because it was just so good for me because it does help me get out of my head. And
Of course,
I'd
but
like
to
to
get
just
yourself
be.
out of your head even more than just
Mhm.
working out, having a goal while working out to obtain. Because now you're focused on something external. You can
Mm,
work out for the sake of health and be stuck in your head the whole time because you're not focused on an external goal, reality, earth.
mm. To say that, yeah. When you say that, I think about rowing. Um,
Okay, but what would you want to? Okay, you're still not getting the point. Okay, rowing. So what? Okay, you want to row. What does that mean? Why?
because that is something that I have grown really strong in,
Okay,
and I feel like I can
maybe you need to work
improve
on your
my
weaknesses,
skill.
not your strength.
Mm,
But if you are going to work on your strengths, there has to be a goal. Do you want to do a certain amount of meters faster? Do
yeah.
you want to build up a certain strength? Is there like a certain, like maybe you like rowing? Okay, so you work on your building your triceps up more. You do certain exercises, weightlifting that it increases your triceps so you're
Mm,
able to row faster. Maybe your shoulders, your back. I don't like there has to be
mhm.
intentionality behind what you're doing.
Yeah, no, it's true.
You can't just float along and drift along through life or there's no desire. Like you create desire by having a goal. You set a goal, you set intentions, you set up a structure to how to get there, and then you obtain it. And then when you obtain that goal, that is like a plus up level for a desire. Like, wow, I really achieved that. And I really put this whole thing together. Me, as a person, set up this whole thing in order to obtain this goal, and I obtained it. What else could I do?
Mm,
Jordan Peterson uses the example of cleaning your room. You want to save the world? Start by cleaning your room. It's like,
mm.
wow, I put my room in order. I really did that. I could do that. What else could I do? It's like there has to be an intentionality. You have to have goals. You have to succeed. You have to achieve like some sort of level of a of a success. And that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you have to make $1 billion in order to do that. Some people it is like that. But there has to be an intentionality behind things, or else you're just wandering aimlessly, hoping that you hit a target that there isn't even a target. There's no target to hit, but you're hoping you hit it. What like even though you don't know where it is or what it is.
Mhm. Yeah, kind of like yesterday I did like made chopped and made food and
Well, I gave you a target to hit, gave you recipes, and you hit it.
mhm.
But when
Yeah, and
you
that was
just
like
but when you just try to make up something on your own and throw it together, it's like, okay, maybe it's great, but maybe it's really not. And there is something to be said about doing that every once in a while. I think that's really important to just kind of just Throw a shot
Mhm.
up there and see what happens. But that's not like that shouldn't be most of your time spent.
Yeah. There should be like a goal that you're aiming for, and you actually know that you might be able to get
Intentionality. There should
there.
be a structure to obtain a certain result. So you can see that you can actually obtain that result by putting in implementing certain structures. And then
Mhm.
that's like the key developmental skills that I'm talking about. I think that you're lacking in terms of like doing things
Mhm.
in succeeding, feeling like somebody who wins, who's a winner.
Mhm.
Like in not in like a prideful sense, but just in a like when I do things, I do them well and I succeed and I hit these goals and I obtain these ideas that are in my mind. You're not just like another one of these people that are like, yeah, I got this idea, but I'll never hit it because I'm not a winner and I don't know how to win. That's most of the population. That's like 99% of the population. They're like, yeah, I have this idea. It's really awesome. And maybe it is a really awesome idea, but they'll never actually hit it because they have no idea how to set up structures in goalposts to like actually hit their
Mhm.
mark. And there isn't a whole lot of like conversation on this. So,
Mhm.
do you know what most of the conversation is? Law of attraction. Just think, just believe that you already have it and you'll have it. Just believe and it'll come to you. It's like, okay, that's a small percentage of that. But the truth is like kind of what we've been discussing. I don't know how to summarize that up in one sentence. It's like, yeah, you have to have a goal,
No.
but there's multiple characteristics of having a goal and achieving it
Mhm.
and building confidence that you are actually working towards that, even though it doesn't feel like it on the day to day grind. Because there's a lot of days you just don't feel like you're actually achieving anything when those are the days where you're achieving it the most.
Mhm. I mean, like the days when you're trying, but it's not. You feel like it's not getting
Well, I've
anywhere.
heard it in terms of writing, because a lot of times people have a struggle. They say writer's block, or they
Mm.
think what they wrote on a day, like, okay, so you write an hour a day, you know, and you write an hour a day just out of the discipline because you know that writing an hour a day develops you whether you feel like it or not. I've heard people say where, because I've been into music and I've been into poetry and whatnot, and like the discipline of writing, because there's an actual like physical element to writing that makes sense in this analogy, but it's universal to all things. But I'm using it, whatever. So say
Mhm.
you write on a Tuesday, and man, you just feel like everything you wrote is trash, and it is. Everything for that hour is trash. It's just manure. But
Mhm.
then the next day, you write something and it's like a flower. It's just beautiful. It's wonderful. It's like just because that Tuesday you wrote like manure doesn't mean on another day you don't take that manure and grow a flower out of it.
Mhm.
It's like you can't see how everything connects
I
because
like
you
that.
haven't lived the
Yeah.
future yet, but like some of your worst days can be turned into the best later on.
Mm.
You just don't know how it all connects and works. But sometimes that manure just is manure and it just is what it is. But you can't ever discredit something by how you feel or how it seems in the moment. You just got to do it anyways. And like I hear time and time and time and time and time again, the most successful stories, the most successful songs, the most successful people had their best song, had their best night. Like Michael Jordan had his highest scoring game, the best game he's ever played on the night he's felt he was sick. Like he felt like crap. He was like almost not going to play or something. That's what I heard. And then like, just heard so many interviews with artists that are like, yeah, we just were joking when we wrote the song. We were literally messing around and it was our biggest song ever.
Mm.
Like we were joking. It was literally a joke. Literally a joke. Like
Mm.
didn't even have any tension be like intention of it on it blowing up. So there's something to be said about that. And that's kind of counterintuitive to what I just said about intention and having a goal and achieving it. But that's why I said it's also important to have times where you just throw a shot up, you
Hmm.
know? That's a part of the balance too. It can't be like, and I guess that's what I was really saying when we first started this is like not stressing yourself out, like having a balance of just like confidence that this state of being and this state of this mindset that I'm speaking of like kind of what we've been talking about this whole time, is the secret to the success. And once you understand that you have the secret to the success and there's nothing you need to obtain it except for the state of being, then you've already won. You just got to let
Yeah.
life catch up. It's almost like, yeah, I mean, there's really no, I don't know how else to say that.
Yeah.
There's like a delay with life. I mean, just because you know you've won doesn't mean you've won. And you can let go of that um, and lose still. But as long as you hold on to like the confidence, really just goodness itself, because people don't like to use the word God. God kind of has a dirty word nowadays. It's like a dirty context. Or
Mm.
like universe also has like two, like God, universe, higher power. Those three things are kind of just, I like the, you know, obviously the statement God, but like at this point in time in the world, just good. A trust in goodness. That's all. If you don't have a trust in goodness
Mm.
and hold on to that, you believe like, you know, stepping on your brother to get ahead, basically malice is the way to win. You're gonna lose in the end with that because it always leads to a dead end. And that's what
Mm.
scripture has been trying to say. That's what that's what the whole basis of religion is supposed to be, is that, you know,
Yeah.
malice, anti virtue, you know, vice leads to dead ends, even though that you can get a quick gain, but it
Mm.
leads to a dead end quick too. But goodness takes a slower amount of time to achieve success typically, but it lasts forever. There's you don't have to like start over again or find a different way, or it's like once it's built, the
Mm.
heart like you gotta still work hard to keep it afloat, but you don't have to like it's eternal. That's what they say.
Yeah.
It's eternal goodness.
Mm.
I think
Yeah.
I
And
know that success is a state of being and a confidence in goodness that what you're doing, as long as you have an aim and a desire and a goal, and you're not necessarily hyper fixated on that goal because it could change, but it's a high upward aim. Like you're trying to achieve something that's very high and up and good. That you will achieve that if you do what you know you need to do in each moment without stressing yourself out to the point where you're going to stop. Like you got to just keep going, baby steps all the time, like every moment. And that's pretty much it. That's really like I would say the point of life to some degree. And each point looks different in each life because people have different desires to do different things, and that's good as long as it's not bad.
yeah. Yeah. It's like trusting.
Well,
Well,
it's a
it's
constant state of trust. That's the secret to success. But it's you can't trust when you're not doing something good. Like
yeah.
if you're murdering people to get ahead, like there's just a level of like, well, it's hard to trust that you're doing like you're not going to go to jail, you know, or
Yeah.
end
You're
up in
always
a really bad
living
situation. Someone murders you because you
right.
murdered their brother or whatever.
It's like you're living in a well, if you're living like that, you live in a constant state of fear or anxiety that something's going to happen. It's going to
And
come back
people
at you.
try to like they really try to argue that that's not true, but you have to be a certain level of psychopath to believe that's not true. Like to really
Yeah.
like whatever. Because murder isn't just killing someone. It's killing someone who's innocent. That's what murder is.
Hmm.
So if you're like, you know, murdering people, that's difficult to believe that you're trusting that's difficult to trust in. You have to be some sort of sociopath that doesn't even understand reality to really trust that you're
Yeah,
doing something that's of value.
yeah.
So that's one extreme example, but like people really try to argue it that like, oh,
Mm,
whatever. There's a lot of things people try to argue, and I don't agree with
mhm,
it. And to each his own. If they can find success in life and fulfillment and purpose, and in some other way, fine. But I don't believe that it works because I've tried almost everything, and it just for me it didn't work. So,
mm, yeah.
but
And it's demoralizing.
back to you. So yeah, I mean,
Mhm,
what's your goals? You said okay, you want to have a family, be a good mother, all those things. Like I said, how can you start that now? You said, okay,
mhm,
one characteristic is being healthy, eating healthy, working out. That's not the majority of
mhm,
your day. So you got to fill your day with something more. Okay, you said prayer. Why is prayer important? Well, that's a way that can be revealed to you through God, whatever
mhm,
universe, things like that, whatever you want to call it, goodness reveals to you on how to become better because you take the time to pray and then reflect and learn about other people who are better than you through scripture or whatever reading. And so then
mhm,
therefore you can become a little better in virtue. Okay, that's the second characteristic. So one, healthy eating, working out. Two, becoming better through prayer and reflection and virtue through studying others and blah blah blah. So what's another what's another way you can fill your day? Or what's something
well, through, yeah.
you can do?
I think that was like finding good, like learning how to cook well. But also like just organizing my life when it comes to like my financials, just so that I can better or help organize my family's life when it comes to, you know, just becoming more like educated and organized in that way, you know. I think that's a skill that I do want to work on.
Yeah, I mean, and that being a skill, what's your end to that? What's like I guess, a short-term goal that you'd want to envision yourself? Because you say you want to develop that skill, but like in
Yeah,
order, like, so developing that skill, you would feel good about, like, there obviously has to be something that you see yourself. In order to know that you want to develop that skill, there has to be a version of yourself you see. Like, I'm guessing there's a version about
yeah,
yourself that you see as doing well. So what is that?
yeah.
Is it like having
I
a
think
million
that.
dollars? Like, I mean, I'm just using extreme examples. Like, financially, is it just
Mm,
like not being in debt? Like, what is your level of, you know, what is that
mm.
that you see?
I guess it would be, yeah, it would be paying off the loans that I have.
That's a good
I think
start.
that would be good.
That's a
That
good
would be a
short-term
start.
goal.
Yeah.
How long do you think realistically it would take you to do that? And what means do you
Well,
desire to
there,
have that come through? Like, how much do
I
you need to
think,
make a month in order to hit that goal in the time for, like, what time frame you think that, there's got to be structure.
mm,
So
yeah.
you
Um,
might not do it in that structured time, but if at least you'll know realistically in the future, like for the future, how long it
mm,
will actually take you. And, you know,
yeah,
or maybe it gets sooner. Maybe it happens sooner. And you're like, whoa, wow. When I put my mind to something, I can really make something happen.
to get it
And then
done.
you have a new goal. So what do you think being where you're at right now, what's realistic in your mind to achieve or to make that happen? What's the plan you can try to execute?
Mm. I think, yeah, I think coming up with because I generally have an idea of how much I owe each, but I think I'd like each month, but I'd like to not just get a general idea, but really maybe but I couldn't give you the answer
Well, how
basically
much
right
debt do you
now, but
have? Roughly, it
I
doesn't got to
have,
be exact.
yeah, a little less than 10,000.
So you have a little less than 10,000. How long do you
Yeah,
think that that'll take you to pay off if you put your intention into it a little bit each day, quite a bit each day?
maybe like a year or
A year?
under two
Serious?
years.
Um, why do
Um,
you think that it would take that long? Do you have like a bills each month that you're paying?
yeah,
Like why do you think
yep.
2 years is
Because it's for
is that like the pace you desire to pay it off? Like, you know what I mean? Because what is it, 10,000? Little
mm,
under 10,000 isn't that much.
mm-mm,
So you're saying paying it off in a year or two, like why that long specifically? Is it because you don't need to, or so you don't like if there's no necessarily need to? Like clearly your desire to pay off your finances isn't that deep, or else you'd probably work a little harder or something to pay it off quicker. Like that's
mm,
kind of a laissez-faire goal.
mm,
Because 2 years is a lot of time and it goes by quick. The
yeah,
next thing you know, you're 30, your body hurts a little bit more, your mind's a little bit slower. Like there's just you get older, things, you can't. So I'm questioning what's your reason or intention behind a year or two to pay off 10 grand? Is there no interest on it? Like, is there like, so it's kind of just,
no, there isn't an interest on it.
yeah, well, I guess, and then there's no reason to stress yourself out to pay it off. But at the same token,
I want to
you,
get,
you,
yeah, I'd rather get it done sooner. So
okay,
if
so
if I can get it done before,
but well, then that's not really a goal then that you have to be whatever. Like that's to go back to the originally why we even went down this little rabbit hole is because you said you wanted to be, more financially whatever. So like that's clearly not that deep of
yeah.
a goal, paying off your debt. That's like kind of a laissez-faire goal. It happens when it happens. So what else do you see?
I'd like to work. I'd like to work.
Do you want a new car? Do you want like what is it that entices you about finances? Do you
Mm.
say that that's another part of your goal, but what for why? For what?
A new car would be good at some point because my little car is not ideal for like transporting children. It's kind of
But you keep saying at some point or at some time at this or that. Like there's no you haven't built a
mm,
desire. You're kind of just laissez-faire drifting.
mm,
And you expressed to me that you had a desire to go back to school, I think because there's a goal and there's people making you hit that goal. Well, I don't think that that's good. That other people make you hit a goal that isn't really even that impactful for, I don't know, life in general. So you have to be the person that implements these goals and makes yourself hit them. And that's a skill. And I'm trying to help you develop that skill.
yeah. I mean, it's not. Yeah, I do just need to make money
For why?
so that I can save up and also be help support a family, and it's not all on, or at least do my part.
There still isn't really a target.
Mm.
So make a
Maybe I'll
target.
have to.
Well, make a target. What amount
Yeah,
is that? What is that? What amount does that look like? So by the end of December, let's say by the end of the year, let's say by January 1st, how much do you want to have? Make a target. How much do you want
mm,
to save in your bank account? Make an exact amount. And then how that feels. So say the amount is I'm going to use an extreme and then I'm going to use the less than extreme. Say the amount is 50,000 by January 1st. How does that make you feel? That makes you feel like probably like, oh my gosh, like how, like if you truly accept that your goal is $50,000 by January 1st, you're going to be like, okay, I have to figure out how I'm going to do this. Like, say your family's life depended on you making $50,000 by January 1st. What are you going to do? You're probably not going to sleep. You're probably going to be up all hours of the night, every single second for every single moment until you get the $50,000 by January 1st. You're going to look up every single video. You're going to be so obsessed with this because there's something that matters. There's a desire there. The desire is not to let your family die.
Mhm.
Say your mom's life was on the line, you know? They took her hostage and you have to come up with $50,000 by January 1st. Yeah, everything goes out the window. Everything. Probably your own health. You know what I mean? Because there's a time constraint and there's a target you have to hit.
Mm. Yeah.
But you'll probably figure it out. I mean, you're going to be praying every single second. You're going to be like focused on revelation to yourself to figure out how to do this. You're going to look up every video. You're not going to stop. You're going to probably be in the street like begging people to help. You mean go to the police? I don't know. You're going to freak out. I need $50,000. I got to do it. You know what I mean? You're not going to stop till you get it. If it's all dependent on you and there's no other thing that you can rely upon.
Mhm.
Now, that's an intense version, but say that's your goal, and this is what I'm trying to get you to understand what it means to accept a goal. So you say, okay, $50,000 by January 1st, and you accept that goal, whether your mom's life on the line or not, you're still going to behave the same way when you truly accept the goal and the time constraint. Now, let's call it $5,000. Okay, well, there's a lot less pressure there, but there's still a little pressure,
Mm.
There's a goal, there's a timeline, there's a target, and you want to hit it. Now, accept that goal and figure out how you're going to reach it.
Mm.
That's what I'm trying to say. And
Mhm.
now you can see why I'm doing what I'm doing with my business. I don't have a
Mm.
distinct target because I don't want to put restraints, but I know that there is a target. There's probably like, a million by the end of next year. I'd like $1 million in my bank account by the end of next year. Like
Mm.
cash, like already taxed. So that means I'll probably have to make more you know, like 3 or 4 million in profit in sales, which if you break that down, 3 or 4 million profit in sales, um, is probably going to look like, each month probably do close to $1 million in sales, a
Mm.
little less. I'm thinking realistically, that's my goal of $1 million cash by the end of next year. But if I'm at like
Mm.
720,000 and like, I'm okay with that because
Yeah.
it's like reach for the stars, land on the moon.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to stress myself out so bad to the point where I neglect my health. I think that where I'm at right now, like the position I'm in right now, that goal, I can work out, I can eat healthy, I can make videos, I can do these things, not stress myself out too bad and hit that goal.
Mm.
I think that if I wanted to do 10 million or five, even three in profit, I think that would stress me out so bad I couldn't. I'd have to neglect other areas of my
Yeah.
life in order to obtain that. Because that's what I've done to get to where I am now. I've neglected my health. I've neglected relationships. I've neglected people, myself. Not entirely, of course, because I would never do that because I know where that leads. But I have in order to get to where I am, which I've almost probably made a couple 100,000 in profit this year, which means I've probably done 500,000 in sales. I think by the end of next year, with the way that this has been like compounding, that I think that if I just work out a little bit each day, eat a little, like, keep my diet healthy, keep my prayer focused, um, keep building relationships with people and bettering my family
Yeah.
and whatever. Like, I think it's realistic by the end of next year be in that position. So that's me. Now
Yeah.
you're starting where you're starting, but you also see the capability of what the business can unlock if you desire to lean into it more. So I would say, yeah, set a goal for finances, within the next
Hmm.
couple months to set a baseline of what you can do for the next year when you really put your mind to something.
Yeah, because that is it's something I'd hope to achieve is like being able to make money off of the business my own way.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, I mean,
so that,
there's a lot of opportunity here. And you've known that, and I've said it. So
yeah.
you could use that to branch off into something else, like we've talked about. You can utilize what's already here. I mean, realistically, Gina, I don't know if you watched the video I sent on like how to generate leads with Gary
Yeah,
Vee.
I did watch that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could start generating leads that way. Like, there's a lot of opportunity where, like, you could literally get your own Chino, get your own leads, and make your own money if you wanted. You don't need to rely on me.
So, yeah,
I mean, you see how I do things, and I'm here for any advice that you need, but you don't have to, like, ride my coattail. Like, you're free to do whatever and make mistakes. Like, I'm not gonna
yeah.
stop you. I'm actually gonna help you to avoid pitfalls.
Hmm.
But all of this has been recorded. So I'm gonna stop recording it and turn this into like a little podcast as well, because I think it's important. That's why because we have a lot of conversations and there's a lot of good lessons that are being learned all the time in our conversations, like not just
Hmm.
between you or I, but between Braden too. And so I'm just gonna start, even my mom, I'm gonna start recording more conversations and putting them together. So I'm gonna end this recording now. And I don't even know what I'm gonna call any of this stuff, but I guess
You don't know if you're gonna what?
I don't know what I'm gonna call all this stuff that I'm
Oh,
recording, but I will put this together and yeah, I guess have you guys listen to the next one. Goodbye.